Yo, yo, yo. What up, Bishop? What up, AI Elite? What's happening? What's going on? What up, Jason? What up, MGM? Budget cuts arrive all at the same time. Guys, make sure to like up the stream, man. It really helps. It helps a lot. You want to start talking about the budget cuts? What's going on? WWE lost their mind. Why? Sumo Smashdown Match 2 is difficult? What's that? A lot of recent releases surprise you. Which ones? We're here to talk about it, man. We're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it. I got good news, though, man. We finally got Obafemi. Wait a second. I thought I already had this reward, but I guess I didn't get it. If you guys didn't watch my video from earlier today, man, I suggest y'all check it out. It was a pretty good banger. You're done with WWE at this point? Why? Kyrie hurt your soul? What do you mean? She got released? I don't know what the details are, guys. So if you guys want to hit me with a list and we'll go down that list, I am all for it. I am down to have the conversation of a lifetime with you guys. Mostly heard about the Y6, Motor City Machine Guns, Aleister Black, So Stupid. We could talk about all of that. Massive release. I think it was necessary. I think it was necessary. I'm sorry. I think it was necessary. Aleister Black has been televised on weekly. Also, he got 2 big wins over Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, and by the way, he returned last year on the SmackDown After Mania. Now we got released 1 year later. Not only that, Aleister Black was actually supposed to be with Randy Orton for WrestleMania. Yeah, I saw some of the stuff that they're adding to my faction. I actually have a video dropping tomorrow morning about all that stuff. That's a clickbait answer. What is a clickbait answer? You gotta specify. You can't just say that's a clickbait answer. What about it is clickbait? What are we talking about? Alistair is the one that hurt your soul. He's my guy, not just RL, but also in WWE 2k26. I plan on using his moves. I'm glad you like the shirt, man. I'm glad you like a little throwback, little nostalgia. I think the biggest takeaway from here is that not everyone was getting over. Not everyone is a main star. There's going to be more releases. If they're not using them, why do you want WWE to hold them hostage? Why do you want them to do what Vince McMahon used to do, or what Tony Khan has done in the past, where wrestlers stay at home while they get paid? What is that? If they're not going to use them, they don't have big plans for them, and it's time to freshen up the roster. What do you expect? Send me the full list. I'll check it out. Power Rangers is your shit? That's what's up, man. It's difficult because you have to use Green, Fallon, Henley. Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I do know which one you're talking about. All right, let me know when you sent it on Discord and I'll pull it up. Send it to me in the DM. What up, Late? Listen, I'm a fan of Aleister Black. I'm glad Aleister Black came back last year. That one does hurt, especially with the feud he had with Damian Priest and the potential feud he could have had with so many other superstars. It's untapped potential, basically. But that's the same case with Karrion Kross. What's up, Lex? Have you got a chance to try out Berlin World Tour? I gotta see. There's a new World Tour? It's sent? Alright, let's pull it up. Let me hit pause real quick. Oh, you found the full list. Okay. Oh, Sean Ross Sapp put it up. Alright. Let me see. Hold on. Actually, it took me to a different spot. One second. I don't know why it took me to the... Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. I got it. We have not heard if any additional releases are coming. All right, let me see. All right, let's look at the list real quick. So we got Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar. That one's tough because he's actually injured right now. Santos Escobar getting releases is crazy just because he's injured right now. And he was coming back and he was doing the AAA stuff and he got hurt over at AAA. So him getting released while injured is pretty crazy. Motor City Machine Gun, that one is actually very shocking. The other ones are not as shocking. The reason why, I'll tell you in a second about Motor City Machine Gun. Dexter Loomis, Apollo Crews, Rowan, Joe Gacy, Andre Chase, Zoe Stark is crazy because she was about to come back. Alba Fire, Tyra May Steele, Serena Linton, Tyson, Tyreek, Chris Island, Malik Blade, Trill London, Luca Crucifino. So some NXT superstars, a lot of main roster stars, a lot of untapped potential at the end of the day. And listen, do I agree with these roster cuts? Not necessarily that I agree with them, but I understand why. I understand why. The part where I'm confused with the Motor City Machine Guns is because they are a legendary veteran tag team group that didn't reach their true WWE potential, that could have made tons of money, had tons of matches, and great title reigns. For whatever reason, as weak as the tag division got, they still managed to misuse the Motor City Machine Guns after that cool down that they had. When they came in hot. They cooled off, and they didn't get much after that. I was at the show where they wrestled once, and I will say that they weren't getting much pops. Yeah, they weren't getting much pops. They were getting pops in the ring with the action they were producing because they are that talented. They are that good. But in all reality, like, I could see why management is just like, hey, the fans are not really gravitating. We already spent money on this merch, and, you know, we invested into these characters a little bit, and we haven't seen the results that we wanted. Let them go. The tag title match that they had with DIY, you know, but they had good matches when they did the tag team ladder match. Like, they had some good, memorable matches in WWE. They are as good as it gets, but at the end of the day, the tag division was just not where it needed to be for them to continue to succeed. And the crazy part is that they were both very successful in TNA as singles wrestlers, like as main champions. Another thing too, if they're calling up so many people from NXT, it's time to put up or shut up. A lot of these people, like, bro, Kit Wilson would have been on that list if it wasn't for him getting over with the whole toxic stuff recently. It falls on creative, not talent. I understand that, but I'm going to be honest with you. It also falls on the fandom, too, because Motor City Machine Guns were champions. And they were put on a pedestal when they came in and treated with a lot of respect in the commentary booth. They didn't really get over that much. You know, this isn't AEW and TNA where somebody signs with WWE and everybody's going to pop for them and cheese out. So you're right. WWE has to put them over with the casuals. And they tried for a bit, but they kind of took off the training wheels very early, and it is what it is. And I've said this before when we talked about it on stream. The tag division, when it's really good on Monday Night Raw, it's bad on SmackDown. When it's really good on SmackDown, it's bad on Monday Night Raw. For whatever reason, they take, like, turns when they want to promote the tag division. Like, if the Usos and the New Day and, you know, some other random couple of tag teams like the Viking Raiders, like, if they're all taking over Monday Night Raw, then SmackDown, you already know SmackDown's tag division is pretty cooked. But if SmackDown is having like those crazy ladder matches and the Street Profits and all that, then you know that Raw is cooked. Right now, Raw seems to be on the rise with the Street Profits going over there. The Usos are still tag team. The Vision is a tag team still. Like, there seems to be a little bit of effort being built upon the tag team division over there on Raw. So I expect for Monday Night Raw to have the better division right now. So what are you going to do with the Wyatts? Creative is who should have been wiped out, respectfully. I get that's the sentiment right now. I really do. But the problem is, Elite, think about it, my boy. They're looking for prize fighters for money makers. They're talking about cutting wrestlers to save money. That's TKO. What do you mean, Zach? Zach! Hold on a second. Zach! What are you talking about? What do you think of the releases? We're literally talking about the releases right now, my boy. I'm literally addressing the releases right now. Bro, the storylines they produce are trash. But when did I say that they were great? I never said they were great. I said when they caught fire and they did good stuff, one brand suffered from it and the other one thrived. Like, at the end of the day, bro, the tag team division is not going to sell tickets. And I think you guys are having a misunderstanding as to what TKO wants out of WWE. They want to focus on the money makers and the big timers. And the people that they released are not big timers. I'm sorry. You could blame creative. You could blame that they didn't get over with the crowd because they were written poorly. How many opportunities did the Wyatt Six get? How many backstage segments did they get? How many subtle promos? How many run-ins? How long did they feud with MFT? I'm not saying that I side with creative or Triple H or the production, or that they that it's the wrestler's fault. It's just circumstances. TKO wants to have a very narrow road that is driven by revenue. The people that got released weren't bringing in the crowd hype anymore. Come on, every time the Wyatt Six came out and we did a watch along, you guys were in the chat complaining about them. And I get it, it's not personal because you like the Wyatt Six or you like the whole Wyatt storyline overall. It's more about creative and the way they're presented. But it doesn't change the fact that they're not building, upward. They're not trending upward, rather. Is it a great story with the MFT? It was once upon a time. It went on way too long. I'm telling you right now, a year ago, I was at a live event where the Motor City Machine Guns were coming out. They had just been there for several months. They were hot in some cities and cool in others. I went to the show in Miami and they were ice cold. The crowd didn't really pop for them. The crowd didn't care for them. But when the Usos came out and some of the other big teams came out, they erupted. Like, it's just what it is. And it's not to say that the Motor City Machine Guns were booked like shit the entire time. They weren't booked like shit the entire time. The Motor City Machine Guns were actually booked very strong upon arrival, winning the tag titles almost as quickly as anyone I've ever seen. So at the end of the day, it just didn't work out. And as a fan, we want to keep all these wrestlers, for the video game, for the likeness, for a future storyline. I agree. It's a travesty that they let go of the Wyatt Six, that they let go of Motor City. Aleister Black even. I was pissed off when they let go of Rusev the first time. But, it's just a different crowd, a different management group that is running these things. Do you really think that Triple H wanted to get rid of Aleister Black when he brought him back? And don't tell me that he didn't do Aleister Black any favors, because Aleister Black had run-ins, he had feuds, he had t-shirts, they put him as a DLC for WWE 2K, they put in the work for him. Was it the greatest thing ever? No. But let's do this. Everyone was talking about Karrion Kross and his group. They were feuding with just about everyone. Even when Bobby Lashley was getting cheered and everyone loved Bobby Lashley, they had a big feud with Bobby Lashley, and people were I was happy that they had the match at WrestleMania, People were legitimately complaining about that. And I'm like, yo, like, what are we talking about? Why aren't they supporting these guys? I think TKO costed, yeah, it did. They prioritized revenue and hype over someone like Aleister Black, who is a great character. Now WWE, like, they don't really have any dark characters. They got rid of all the dark characters. Who said they didn't give Zelina a chance? What? Zelina got so many chances. They didn't even give Zelina a chance ever, so she couldn't prove herself because of script. No way! They gave her the U.S. title multiple times, had matches on SmackDown and PLEs, had big entrances. No way. I will not. I don't want to hear it. Kairi Sane. Guys, I was in attendance at a show after Royal Rumble 2024, Monday Night Raw, the Raw after the Rumble. Don't talk to me about storylines and talk to me about characters that people love. People were chanting against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. The crowd was chanting, "This is boring." I was there in attendance. This was 2 years ago. This is boring. When the Kabuki Warriors are having matches, no one is reacting on TV unless it's Asuka and Io Sky. Kairi Sane gets reactions when she jumps from the top rope or does some crazy maneuver. But to sit here and say that Kairi Sane hurts when she hasn't really done a whole lot, and you're going to tell me that they didn't give her a whole lot, but when she's in the ring with Io and Asuka, she's the lesser one from the group that people care about. And we're watching at home. We're not at these shows. It's bittersweet. It is bittersweet. But there's not a spot for everybody. So here's the way that I look at it now that I'm 36 years old and I've gone through these roster cuts every year, and I used to get upset and pissed off, bro. When Bray Wyatt got released, I remember getting pissed off because of how talented he is. At the end of the day, I looked at it as Matt Cardona said it best. You could sit around, choose someone to blame, complain, and do nothing about it, or you can get your ass up and keep fighting for your dream. And social media now is bigger than ever. All these people can stream on Twitch, on YouTube. All these people can promote on social media. Look at Karrion Kross, perfect example. Look at what Zack Ryder did, perfect example. Look at what Drew McIntyre did, perfect example. So at the end of the day, when you get released, it's a blessing when you're not getting utilized the way you envision. Aleister Black is going to show up and probably have a banger match with Karrion Kross somewhere in GCW or on the internet, and people are going to go crazy for it. Now he's going to get to work with Zelina Vega anywhere. Hell, TNA needs a lot of talent right now, so this is great for TNA. Aleister Black can show up at TNA and literally become a main eventer instantly. I hope Aleister Black doesn't go back to AEW. I want Aleister Black in TNA. If TNA signs Aleister Black, he's an instant main eventer. So it is what it is, man. These are wrestlers that we all love and enjoy, and I get it. I get it. I don't want to see them get released. I feel bad for them. But I think that this is a good thing for a lot of these people that weren't getting utilized properly. I'm not looking at it as a negative like I once did back in the day. I used to look at it as a negative. Come on, guys. How many chances did they give to Apollo Crews? They even sent him back down to NXT. Nikki Cross had multiple different gimmicks. I mean, I don't know. It's a solid list of talent that's worth, being somewhere and getting utilized. Like Kairi Sane can now go back home and go work New Japan or something like that and be a bigger star even as a singles competitor. Like Kairi Sane got stuck with Asuka the entire time and then with Io Sky as well. For Aleister Black, I feel like, man, he just came back last year. It's unfortunate. They're gunning for the money. It's all about the money right now with TKO. And I find it crazy that with all the profits and all the things that they've done, they are now trying to milk it even harder. Nikki had like one match. Yeah, bro, they didn't do much. They didn't do much. I don't even know what to think at this point. I'm exhausted with TKO's hands on in the business. I'm literally hoping that TNA can benefit from these releases in some capacity. I really hope TNA can benefit. I know AEW is going to benefit. AEW always benefits from these releases. Because now they're going to have one of these guys or girls show up on their show and it'll be a big deal. AEW has been super bloated for a long time. AEW always likes signing some people just to have a new little moment and create some buzz. They don't have to sign them to multiple years. They could just sign them for a couple of appearances like they've done in the past. That's the good thing about it. I mean, what's crazy is that Ari Emanuel got paid like $64 million last year. And the guy, Mark Shapiro, the president of TKO, got paid like $45 million. AEW needs to make cuts as well. They have so many people, bro, but they also spread them around the Ring of Honor and all that as well. I can't do none of the new add-ons that they put here for the live events. The Ring of Honor was struggling financially. That's why they were going under and they sold. They were gonna turn it off. How would you feel if they released Obafemi? See, they wouldn't do that because Obafemi is literally building up to be one of their money makers. If you're a money maker for them, and they believe in what you can do for them within the next 6 months to a year. If these characters got released is because they didn't foresee doing anything with them within the 6 months coming up. Not 6 years, my fault, 6 months. Santana's probably going to end up in WWE. Just look at Roman. Nah, you can't just say that about Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was being shoved and forced to do certain things, but the moment he stepped in and grew into what he is now, you can't deny his talent. And it's not always about WWE putting something behind your back. It's about the audience connecting with you, whether it's your theme song, how you look, how tall you are, how strong you are, a certain move, the way you talk on the mic. You know, it depends. Yeah, I like Battlefield. I just haven't played it in a while. Rowan got booed from pillar to post for a year straight. That was 1 year. So what? So did John Cena. That's not saying anything, though. There's no argument with that. John Cena got booed more than anyone I've ever known. I'm a huge Roman fan, too. I know he got booed. I know he got booed when he won the Rumble. I know he got booed when The Rock came back to try to put him over. I know people got tired of his big dog gimmick. And that was what? You don't think that he got booed because people knew that Vince McMahon liked him? Anytime it was understood that Vince McMahon liked somebody, it made it a problem. Oftentimes. That happens a lot. That happens a lot, bro. Just because Vince McMahon is backing someone doesn't automatically mean they're bad. It means that the crowd ain't messing with them because it feels forced. And during all that time, people wanted Bryan Danielson. Keep that in mind. Don't forget about that. At the end of the day, you got to keep in mind that everyone... Ah, man, I messed up. Everyone has like a connection with certain people. Landon, but you see, that's not saying anything, though. Everyone has potential at the end of the day, my friend. Everyone's got potential. Everyone's good in the ring, you know, like there's just so much potential everywhere. So it's really hard to feel like everyone got done wrong. Not everyone is done dirty. There's people that instantly get over without WWE doing a whole lot. Look at Karrion Kross. And another thing that you guys got to pick up on, the sooner you realize what's happening here, the sooner you're going to understand what WWE is becoming. And it's literally all about the money for TKO. As it is for corporate companies, right? But TKO is responsible for managing that part. They hate when you get yourself over. That was an old thing from Vince McMahon, but they like people that make money, bro. Vince had that same feeling. If you made him money, he liked you. So much good talent got released. How about the talent that's getting called up? Where are you gonna put Obafemi? Where are you gonna put Ricky Starks? Where are you gonna put Joe Hendry? Where are you gonna put JC Jane? Where are you gonna put all these people that have been working in NXT? Rotate wrestlers every week so then people complain about no stories? Where are you gonna put Danhausen? There's barely anything for Danhausen as is. Where are you gonna put Sol Ruka? What are you gonna do with all this talent that's getting called up? Tell me, please. We literally have Ricky Saints debuting on SmackDown next week. And I'm pretty sure Tony D'Angelo is going to get called up eventually. Royce Keys. Where are you going to put Royce Keys? What about if Mike Santana ends up being WWE bound? Where are you going to put him? Please. Don't tell me about who got released and why you feel bad about them getting released. Tell me about the people that got called up Tell me about the people that just recently got signed. Where are you going to put them at? And like, I'm genuinely asking because I want to see what your thought process is, because I'm trying to think of the same thing. How do you handle that? Matt Cardona's there for now. Matt Cardona is filler. Matt Cardona's a known name to put over someone else. Matt Cardona is married to Chelsea Green. He is making some money, right? But where are you going to put all those people? And look at the MFTs. They're eventually going to break up. Where are you going to put all the wrestlers from there? You know, there's so many others who aren't pushing anything that could be released. Like who? Who should they release? If you feel like you're judge, jury, executioner. Zilla has been coming soon for a while. I'm not holding my breath on Zilla. I think Zilla needs to go to NXT more than anything. I don't think he should get called up to the main roster. That'd be a mistake. Damn, I had that. I'm not going down that road? So why would you say that then? That's clickbaiting. Who should get released? Bro, we're having a conversation. This is not that serious. I feel like a lot of these people should have gotten released, but they got released. So what am I going to do here? You have your reasons? Nobody's watching. Give me 3 names. Hell, give me 2 names. You pulled Undertaker? Nice. Did they have another update? Yeah, for my faction live events tomorrow and the packs and stuff. The whole MFTs besides Solo? Really? Considering that there's no giants being pumped out just around anywhere, you want to get rid of Talatunga? You want to get rid of Micha and BFAB? They're going to get let go really soon. Yeah, you don't think BFAB is going to get let go soon? The only reason Nikita Lyons hasn't gotten let go is because she has a social media following and everybody sweats her. Tala doesn't do much. He's in the stable. We could say the same thing about him that we've said about the other guys, but at least he's young and like he's learning on the road. The WWE way. How do one obtain the Jade Undeniable card for that live event? You need to complete a set for her. They're going to get rid of JC Mateo eventually. He's definitely going to get released. Garza and Berto are going to get cut. The only reason Garza and Berto haven't gotten cut, you know why? Because they're working AAA as well. They work at AAA. Tamina has been cut. That's why they haven't been cut. Garza and Berto. They're AAA superstars now. Might as well be. And you need people to put over other characters to make them look good. AAA is making bank. I don't think it's making bank. But they need wrestlers over there. It don't matter if Taker's a fan of theirs. Triple H is a super fan of Aleister Black, and he still got cut. I follow Lucha Underground on Twitter. I saw the post they got. Yeah, she's Nikita Lyons wrestles on that Wednesday show, Evolve. There's some legit heat going on between Triple H and TKO. Bro, the heat going on is that TKO are his bosses, and he has to do what his bosses ask of him to do. He's just a foot soldier. That's like Warner Brothers coming to Zack Snyder and wanting him to do something, and he's the director of the show. Same for James Gunn or whatever. Triple H is just a director. You guys are acting like Triple H is Vince McMahon's replacement or something. Noam Dar's going to get released eventually for sure. He will get the blame. It doesn't matter. Somebody's going to get the blame. Triple H would be better off not taking that shit. TKO just puts in requests and stuff. They're not working with them on creative. They handle big picture stuff, bro. What they want to see at pay-per-views, what they want to see. Look at what Shawn Michaels does with NXT. Look at what Undertaker and the people that run AAA do with AAA. Like, it's all about the big picture, the big money, the one that draws the stadium shows and the, you know, the PLE contracts and shit. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Vince did sell out of pure pettiness. This is Vince McMahon's fault at the end of the day. We don't need Vinnie Mac back. We need TKO to get rid of... You know, WWE has to fail miserably before it could succeed again. And that'll be TKO selling because they're doing bad. And it's not happening anytime soon. AAA is just their lucha farm system right now. WWE needs to turn into 2K20, basically. You got 20 personas? Damn. Even if they sell to the Saudis, that's better than TKO. The Saudis just want to get shows to go over there. And they'll want Vince McMahon back and Triple H and all these people. Like, they'll want WWE to be ran like WWE. They're not gonna, as long as WWE's making money, they're not gonna be as like nitpicky as what TKO has done. I don't think so. Well, how can, guys, this is an argument that falls on deaf ears. How can we say, I'm going to give you an example. How can we say that there's something wrong with WWE when they're making more money than ever? My day was great, Nick. How can, think about that. Let that make sense. Think about that. How can we say that they are killing their business if they're making more money than ever right now? How do we get them to realize that they're messing up? It's not going to happen with a tweet and a trend and people like complaining online. The only thing that people complaining online is going to do is get guys like Pat McAfee to step away. Pat McAfee literally didn't want to do the Backlash show. Exactly. Corporations run it to make profit. Exactly. TKO is the corporate parent company. They're winning. They're winning. And as long as they're winning, they're going to continue to do whatever they want because they can. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to say that. I don't even want to acknowledge that. That's toxic. Seriously. That's toxic.
Gets a taste of his own toxic medicine, and I expose him.
But that's the thing. WWE has never been about giving the fans what they want right away. When you watch a boxing match, what a boss. When you watch a boxing, when you watch MMA, when you watch basketball, MLB, baseball, The person that you want to see become champion isn't always the champion. The person that you want to see make the playoffs doesn't always make the playoffs. The team and you know, like, it takes years upon years upon years. Like, that's how sports is. And that's how WWE has always been as well. You listen to the crowd, you tap in, you pivot every now and again. But what, you really want them to pivot to everything that anyone online says? It depends. It depends. There's a time and place for everything, and not, you know, it's just because someone that you like isn't champion doesn't mean they're doing a bad job. A bad job means if they're shoehorning Pat McAfee in the main event. That's a bad job. If they're putting Pat McAfee in the main event and they're not selling tickets, that's a bad job. That's like the reality. Darby winning was a bad job? No, I mean, Darby Allin should have won a while ago. Now they're outrageous because they're trying to tailor to a certain fan base, and people are buying the tickets. The moment that fans stop buying the tickets, we're going to see changes. Till then, see you later. How do you expect for WWE 2K to change when people are ripping packs with money and buying all these crazy editions? When they had to fill up seats for Mania, I don't know why you're crying laughing, bro, because even at their worst, let's say that they sold 40,000 per night, that's still 40,000 people that paid premium to be there. Yeah, the ticket prices dropped after they crossed the 30,000 marker, bro. They filled out 35 to 45 on the price drop. They had over 35 tickets sold before all the tickets started getting adjusted. They had packages, like, they made money. A lot of money. They made a ridiculous amount of money. And that's all extra money when they're getting paid by ESPN guaranteed whether people tune in or not. Like, people want to make fun of, like, oh yeah, not that many people or 1 point something million tuned into ESPN or whatever. Who cares about that number? WWE got paid already. They got a guaranteed deal with ESPN to distribute their pay-per-view. The problem is when it's time to renew. I've attended quite a couple of WrestleManias where they had to fill seats with cardboard cutouts. I was dying. Yeah, but you're talking about like COVID when they did that in Tampa? Is that the WrestleMania you're talking about? Because in SummerSlam, when they did it in Tennessee and they didn't fill out the whole arena and they set up for a certain amount of superstars, they just put a big black tarp over it. And they just didn't cut the camera over them. Exactly, bro. As long as people are paying the money, forget it. So are they doing bad or are they doing good? Or like, there's people paying. It is what it is. Let's get people to stop paying. But then at that point, then what are we doing? We're pocket watching each other as fans, and we're gonna. That's why. When have you guys heard me make fun of people for opening packs in WWE 2K or for buying the game, the $150 edition or any of that? You don't hear me saying that. Why? Because I'm not here to pocket watch. I'm not here to tell you what to spend your money on. I can't. Who am I? I'll tell you what, though. Plenty of people are spending the bread. The fact that they got 35 to 40,000 people when the tickets were expensive to each night of WrestleMania is mind-boggling. The fact that they had like 20 to 30,000 people buy tickets before the match card got announced, that's crazy. And I learned that like talking about basketball for so many years. People make fun of bench warmers in the NBA. Why are you going to make fun of an NBA player as a fan of sports? Why are you making fun of an NBA player that's a bench warmer when he is in the top shape of his life and he's getting paid millions of dollars to hit the gym, eat right, and be at NBA games for his career. That's literally his job. And I used to be that clown that used to make fun of bench warmers in the NBA. And then I came to realize, I'm like, oh man, these guys are all ballers. They're just, you could only give so many people minutes. I was an idiot for making fun of the bench warmers. They're there getting paid millions of dollars to train and play basketball. Whether they see a minute or not. Doesn't matter. Why are you making fun of them? The old saying, stand for something or fall for anything. Well, the movie Rambo said it best. Stand for something or die for nothing. That's what he said. John Rambo, a.k.a. Sylvester Stallone. You know, the way I see it is simple, man. When it comes to spending the money on the product that I watch, whatever it is, if I'm enjoying it, I'll give them some of my time and money. And if I don't think it's worth an X amount of dollars, I don't shy away from not spending it. So that's a Dr. King. Love your humor, Lex. Nah. Sylvester Stallone said it in the movie Rambo for real, though. There's a reason why wrestling has never unionized? No, because they're all hired contractors for the most part. Triple H losing power? What do you mean losing power? Triple H is the creative director. And before that, he was what? The chief content officer. Like, it was all content related. Triple H, if he loses power, is him getting fired. He doesn't have the same amount of power that Vince has. Triple H is on the verge of losing his job, if anything, if they want to take him out because they feel like they could fulfill his duties. I know I ain't buying 2K27. I don't know, bro. It's too early to tell. You may change your mind by the time it rolls around. Triple H could very well get fired. And that's normal. You know why? Because when companies buy other companies, they typically get rid of the leaders that run it. That happens with every merger, bro. Vince McMahon getting pushed out, that was part of the plan. Mark Shapiro even said it, that they didn't even want Vince McMahon. They did better, but 2K is crazy, and you'll probably say the same thing next year, my friend, because that's how they get us. Vince was spamming releases. I mean, he did spam releases, bro, because he had shareholders to answer to. It's like the old Vince McMahon promo from back in the day when he said, life sucks, then you die. He did say that in a promo. R is doing better than WWE? You mean AEW? How are they doing better than WWE? In what way? Let's see how they handle these call-ups. These call-ups are definitely going to save them money, and they're characters that we're going to see what they're about now, you know? That's what it is. We got to see what they're made of. He went local with the cuts. Yeah, but that was around like the COVID and all that stuff. Ticket sales, they're not better in ticket sales. In ticket prices, yes. I didn't watch SmackDown tonight, no. You know who's on the verge of getting let go? Probably Grayson Waller. I like Ethan Page. I just don't think that Ethan Page is gonna have a big ceiling in the main roster. Wow, he actually beat me with that? People involved in the story should not be released. Super with the 5. I got hype and thought it was a random LWF Lex. I want to thank you for streaming and even doing all this content. You're the best. Thank you, Super. Thank you for the 5, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for the nice words and, of course, the donation, man. Yeah, the Creeds are definitely going to get let go eventually. It comes down to how much people are getting paid, too. You got to keep that in mind. If they're not getting paid much, they'll keep them around a little longer because they need bodies to throw at certain wrestlers. Yeah, Ethan Page is going to be a good mid-carder for them for the foreseeable future. How about that win over the Dodgers? I didn't even know they were playing the Dodgers. That's great. Somebody reported it and didn't let her reveal it herself. People be doing that, man, just to get clicks. Dansby hit 2 home runs. Nice. He could also be that mid-carder for SmackDown. Well, Raw needs that now. Read your comment. What did you say? Sean Ross. Yeah, they're a hell of a tag team, bro. It's all about the money, man. I don't know how much money they were getting paid, but I'm sure they were getting paid enough for them to consider getting rid of them. So I think the way it works, TKO probably handed them a spreadsheet of how much money they needed to save by cutting superstars, and they probably looked at the roster, how much money people are getting paid, how many people are together, separate, whatever, and go from there, depending on what they brought to the show. Anybody watching the Michael Jackson movie this weekend? Yeah, I think Motor City's going to end up in AEW, but they should go to TNA. Can you get MFP from grinding the island? No, just BC. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Johnny Gargano, bro. They completely watered down Johnny Gargano. He should just go to AEW at this point for sure. I think the buckets and the cups are sold out already. I don't think they made too many and they got sold out already. Keanu, dude? Who's that? Well, if he's in NXT, bro, that's what NXT's for. They made more than they. What do you mean they made more? If you went and they didn't have when you went, and they had, then they probably got shipped some, or they had some in the back and they didn't want to help you. What up, Marco? I'm gonna go see The Mandalorian for sure when it comes out. You were late when you went? Oh, that's it right there. Next movie you're going to see in theaters, probably Spider-Man. I'm going to watch Mortal Kombat and a few other ones. I just saw Mario today, and I saw Michael yesterday. I saw Mario in 3D. I already saw it, Super. What do you mean I'm not seeing it? I didn't go on Wednesday to go see it because my cat got operated. I couldn't go on Wednesday. It was really good, bro. It was more of a tribute, though. I don't want to spoil it for those that haven't seen it. It was definitely more of a tribute, though. That shirt, I forgot where I bought this shirt. I think I got this shirt maybe Walmart or something. Like Walmart be dropping some good shit. I'm not sure if this was from Walmart. I don't remember. I think it was. You're gonna wait for him to go on streaming? Did you see the heat Pat got at the draft? What do you mean the draft? Today was the draft lottery? I don't even know it was today. I saw the Jackson movie a long time ago, so I haven't watched it in years. I don't remember it like that. I gotta rewatch it, but I just feel like it was a great tribute. I enjoyed it. In terms of enjoyment, I enjoyed it 10 out of 10 in terms of enjoyment. But when it comes to biopics, pound for pound biopics, and it being a movie, it's probably the worst biopic that I've seen in recent years. Now, that doesn't mean that the movie's bad. It doesn't mean that the movie sucked. It doesn't mean that I didn't like the movie. It doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy the movie. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to watch the movie. It just means that in terms of biopics, it's the worst one. And that's, you know, that's kind of like where I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but there's not much of a movie here. There's not a lot of depth to the characters at hand. They didn't really tell, you know, many new stories. There were some cool stories that were told for sure. They touched base on a good deal of things that were enjoyable, that I liked and I appreciated. But I think they didn't empty the tank. There was a lot that was left. And I'm not even talking about the allegations. I don't care that they didn't touch the allegations. I don't care that they didn't cover the allegations to close out the movie or that they cut it out and have reshoots. I don't care about none of that shit. That's not what made the movie less of a biopic to me, personally. But even, it doesn't matter. The Queen movie was a movie. And it had a lot of story building. It had enough story building. The Elvis movie had even more story building than the Queen movie. It had a lot of dialogue, a lot of character depth, a lot of reasoning behind everything. The Elton John movie. The Elton John movie had a musical that tied into all the storylines that were happening. That movie as well had a lot of depth, a lot of character. You know, the Michael Jackson movie just didn't have that. It was missing that. They brushed over a lot of stuff. It was just a fun ride, bro. It was a fun movie, enjoyable. And that's all I could say, bro. I loved it. I loved it for what it was. I'm not gonna bash it for what it isn't. You get what I'm saying? What were they trying to achieve with the movie? Did they achieve what they were trying to go for? They made a feel-good movie that was short and sweet, gave you just enough to get you through, and delivered great performances in terms of acting, delivered great musical numbers. Like, the movie delivered on that note. So that's what I'm going to rate it off of. That's what it's based off of to me. It delivered. It delivered for what they were trying to do. The Queen movie, see, the controversy behind the Queen movie is that the band produced it, so they moved certain things in terms of timeline. Like, they protected Freddie's image, the lead singer. They left out some of the nasty stuff. They didn't deep dive into the band splitting. They rushed into the band getting back together right away. And they ended the movie on a concert that wasn't the last concert that he did in his life. So it was Hollywood magic. But that's okay. They do that with all these movies because they're supposed to be a movie experience. They don't want to be long, boring monologues. So I understand that. And I understand that with Michael Jackson as well, because he has so many great musical, musical short films, and there's just so much to cover in a person's life. He lived 50 years of just, craziness for the most part. So they just left a lot of meat on the bone. Even the Queen movie was way better in terms of a biopic. Yeah, I'm going to watch Clayface. Lexx was dancing on the movies? Nah. I was definitely into it, though. They said they're going to do the second part, which is going to touch on some of the negative for sure. They have to at that point because of the timeline. I just feel like, let me put it to you this way. If you're going to make a trilogy or a sequel, and you're going to make multiple movies about a person that has people that lived with him and people that were around him. Michael Jackson was very mysterious and very, to himself for sure, but he was also surrounded by a lot of people. A lot of people had relationships with him. They left so much out of the movie. They didn't even put his first film that he starred in. They didn't put any of the relationships that he had with other musicians. They barely put him working with producers in the music studio. He wrote his own music. He lived life and had experiences that led him to write certain songs. They didn't even put those things in the movie. And it's funny because it sounds like everything that I'm saying is negative, but it's not negative. I'm just being critical because I'm a really big Michael Jackson fan. No, we did see one of his sisters. We saw LaToya in the movie. We didn't see Janet Jackson because she didn't want to be in the movie. That's fine. There were things that weren't in the movie because the family didn't want it in the movie. And I am nobody to say otherwise. Like, I'm just talking from a fan perspective. If the family didn't want to include some of the things that went on in Michael Jackson's relationship with his family, then by all means, it is what it is. They shared what they wanted to share. It is what it is. If the other sister, Rebby, didn't want to show up, Janet Jackson didn't want to show up, that's fine. I respect that. I can't get mad at them for that. I can't. No, they have multiple. Yeah, it's like 9 of them all together. They have a bunch of. It's a big family with lots of brothers and sisters, lots of sons and nephews and all this. Like that family is massive. And by the time the storyline ends in the movie, in real life, Janet Jackson had already dropped like 4 albums. Like the way they depicted his father, it is what it is. It's a movie. So it's understandable that they chose to go the route that they did, because it's a feel-good experience that's going to get you feeling like you're in the moment when those songs came out and they were felt around the world. You got to get a glimpse of it. That's what the movie is to me. I got a glimpse of his greatness. That's all. It was a glimpse of his greatness. That's it. I just, as a fan, even if they do a follow-up and they continue to tell the story and they continue to share more about his life, I wish that this crucial building block of his life, like this phase, they rushed through a lot of stuff. Been saving your faction points? That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, this game mode is all about saving, being patient, taking your time, not rushing, not feeling that FOMO. It's literally going to pay off at the end, just playing the mode and having fun with what you can. That's what I've done, and this is the first time since the game came out that I've legitimately enjoyed my time in my faction, because they've ran it back over and over and over and over, and I haven't really enjoyed myself with it. I'll tell you what, if you guys are on the fence about watching the movie in theaters, I think it's worth watching. It's worth your time and money. It's an easy 2 hours. And the acting is ridiculous. I think the actor's name is Coleman Domingo, the guy who plays his father in the movie. He steals the show. Like, his nephew is Michael. Like, he definitely knocked it out of the park. But in terms of, like, the unsung actor in the movie, the unsung hero, you're from Memphis? Nice. The live persona was impossible. You spent hundreds of dollars? Yeah, no spending money. Before they dropped the price? They dropped the price on what? Oh, shit. They did drop the price on the packs, man. I ripped packs earlier. In the video I did. So that means I lost out like on over 3,000 and over 2,000. I lost out like on 10K or something like that. I loved it though, man. I highly recommend. I already got it pre-ordered. I went out to the thrift store today looking for some Michael Jackson content, and I actually got lucky and found some. Let me see. I'll show y'all what I picked up. They got people today. A lot are sending support tickets to try. Oh wow, man. I gotta hit him up then. So I already own this one right here. I own this on DVD already, but I picked it up today again. Let me see if I can zoom in. I picked this up for $2. So I already have this on DVD, but I picked it up again for $2 because I bought it brand new sealed. It's brand new. Look at this. It's still sealed. And I already have it, but I have the one that I got when I was a kid, from when I was a child. And that disc, I did not take care of it. I used that disc so much, and I was just very reckless. And I remember lending it to my uncle and all that. So Yeah, it's supposed to be a gold, like a gold statue of him. You're talking about C3PO. But I bought this for $2, man. I was so happy. Erica found it. And then I bought this documentary that was made for him. I never seen this one. Sealed as well for $2. I told Erica, let's go to the thrift, see if we find any I've been looking for Michael Jackson stuff. And she was looking through the movies and she's like, "You said what?" And she pulled them out. I was like, "How did you find it?" I had looked through it and I couldn't find it, so yeah, I picked these two up, $4, sealed. And I never really see Michael Jackson content like that. It's very rare that I see Michael Jackson content at the thrift. Let me show you guys my personal collection, though. I have a couple of DVDs in my collection, and I have a Blu-ray in my collection for Michael Jackson. Let me show you. And I also have Michael Jackson The Experience, the video game. It's a Kinect game. I don't know where I put it though. Hold on. Let me see if I find it. Give me 5 seconds. I have some of the stuff right here. I was trying to see if I knew where the games were, but I don't know where it's at right now. I'm not gonna waste your time just sitting around waiting. I couldn't find the game. I know I had the Michael Jackson Experience somewhere, but and then I have the This Is It Blu-ray. But look, this is from when I was a kid. This is the one that I showed you that I bought today. So see, this is the sealed copy, and this is the one that I had growing up as a kid that we burned out, man. Like, this shit is so scratched. I don't think I could show you how scratched it is. Like, you can't tell. You can't really tell how scratched it is, but it is like in really rough shape. So I had that right there. And then I found this. This is Volume 1. That one that I showed you was Volume 2. I never even noticed growing up that I had Volume 2, but I never had Volume 1. And I ended up finding Volume 1. So they go together. You see? They go together. And then I bought this one. It's an unauthorized biography that I found a long time ago at the thrift for $1. And then I pre-ordered the movie, and I got the This Is It I have This Is It there with the slipcover. I bought This Is It as soon as it came out. I remember when it came out, I bought it right away, immediately. All right, enough story time. Let's get back to some gaming. I actually went to the tribute they did at the Apollo when he passed. Oh, wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I remember I bought as soon as it came out. This Is It. And I had the Moonwalker. Bro, I never knew. I actually had... Oh, shit, they added Berlin. I didn't even realize. I never knew, but I had Moonwalker, part of the movie Moonwalker, recorded. So what am I doing in here? Do you have the MJ Thriller jacket? No, I don't. Oh, I didn't even show you. Hold on. I have a Funko Pop. I do have a Funko Pop. That's right here next to me. I have a Funko Pop. We got this a long time ago at Target. But yeah, man, I love Michael Jackson, so of course I'm gonna love the movie. It's an easy watch. It's MJ from Thriller. Man, you must be bored out of your mind. That's crazy. I will not be playing with no MJ in WWE 2K. You crazy. You crazy. Yeah, I've seen Santana Jackson. Yeah, I've seen that. That he does the moonwalk in the ring and everything. At MJ in 24-25. That's funny. Easy win. Good luck in Chicago. I've done it little by little, man. You got Terry Crews too. Ah, nah, you tripping for reals. So is there anybody watching Michael Jackson this weekend, the movie? Anybody going this weekend? Vince Russo went off on WWE. Did you guys see this? Vince Russo said, "Yeah, I'm bitter. I wish the WWE would hire me back. I've had no life without them for the last 27 years, yada, yada, yada. I guess I'm supposed to be silent about an entire creative team not having the ability, know-how, and knowledge to get the Wyatt Six over. This is the same bunch of geniuses that released Bray Wyatt. Man, I can only hope there is room at JCW. Disgraceful. Management is held accountable for nothing at WWE." I agree. I agree. I totally agree. Thank you for the 5 from earlier, Super Saiyan. I don't know why it popped up again, but thank you. I saw the early release with Majin. Probably take my mom to see it. That's awesome. Next weekend for sure. Already watched it. Nice. You're going to go on Monday with your family. Nice. Well, for those that watched it, it seems like y'all enjoyed it. For those that are going to watch it, I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you get to enjoy what they did produce, because it was really well done and well put together as well. Points were made. Yeah, KP. Vince Russo seems really pissed off. How much do I think it's gonna make? Oh, I think it could make $1 billion easily. I think it'll make 500 to $1 billion. Why? Why? Maybe because it's human nature. Why? Why? I still have the albums that I got when I was a little kid. Like I have 2 of the CDs left. I had more when I was growing up. Like I had the Dangerous album and all that, but I don't have it anymore. I only have 1 of them. No, a draw. Oh, I guess you weren't here when I mentioned that. I said that he stole the show. Coleman stole the show. Coleman Domingo. I mean, they milked it already. They already milked it, Super. What do you mean they'll milk a second part? They'll do a second part, yes, but they already milked the movie. Bro, let me put it lightly. Like, this is what I was telling Just Brian and Kenny Bond. This movie is for casual Michael Jackson fans that don't know anything about him. And there's a little, like, snippet of detail for those that may have known some stuff about him and heard stuff about him that you like. I didn't know how old he was when he moved out of his parents' house. There's just so many things that they could have added, but they did add a couple at the end of the day. It's not like I knew every fact that they put into the movie. Nah, the bro, they filmed. There is so much that they filmed music wise that they still didn't even use in this movie. It's ridiculous. They even did the Dangerous tour. There's footage of him singing Human Nature and I mean Man in the Mirror and the Dangerous tour. Like there's a lot. They didn't include the Wiz at all. They didn't include how he got casted. They didn't include how he had interest in being in a movie or why they picked him. They didn't include his friendship with Paul McCartney. They didn't put his collaborations with other musicians. They left a lot. It's not going to be much harsher, bro. It's going to be another cookie cutter movie. My prediction for season pass 3 in what sense? Like, what else is going to come with season 3 as rewards? Because my prediction is that shit is happening in June and is very far away, so I don't even know what to predict. The movie was cut short because of lawyers, legal issues, and because they wanted to stretch it out. That's really what it is. They wanted to stretch it out. The way you make me feel, the way you make me feel, the way you turn me on. I feel the kid that played young MJ did really good too. Yeah, everybody did really, really good. Look at this. Listen to this. Look, I just Googled it right now just for conversation with you guys. Stephanie Mills met Michael Jackson when she was starring as Dorothy in the Broadway production of The Wiz. Michael Jackson was around 17 or 18 years old around the time. She has done interviews and have been open about their sweet, brief romance during that era. Michael Jackson also had another girlfriend that her name was Tatum O'Neal, an actress that was his first real love, and that was in 1979. Info I know already. That's not what I'm telling you. I don't care if you know this or not. I'm talking about the fact that the movie didn't show or care to show any of those things, and they just brushed over everything. I don't care if you know. Brooke Shields was later. I'm talking about when he was a kid. It's not about, you know. Yeah. It doesn't matter that they cut stuff out. You're missing the point. That's like, doesn't matter. They left stuff out of the movie. Whether they recorded it or not, whether the celebrity or actress or whoever wanted to be in it or not, or whether they had the rights or not, or the lawyers allowed it or not, it was left out of the movie. I can't. You're trying to defend them. I'm not trying to defend them. It doesn't matter. There's no legal, bro. He had girlfriends at the age of 17 at 18. The movie made it seem like he was a loner till he was in his 30s, that he was getting ready to move out, which is not true. So that's an inaccuracy all on its own. Like, not doing it, not telling the person's name, not telling the full story, like all of that. You know, all of that is part of the problem. Like, it goes both ways. They did a 2-hour movie. Obviously, they can't do his entire life in 2 hours, but why rush it if you're going to do another movie or you're planning to do another movie? There was no need for them to play 30 Michael Jackson songs in that movie. First and foremost, if I'm doing a Michael Jackson movie, the movie needs to be at least 3 hours long. It doesn't matter if she's a whack job or not, bro. They could have put us. You know that movies, especially biopics, they change people's names and they create inaccuracies, but for dramatization, they still use it as an example to mirror something from life. Not every movie is like pinpoint accurate. Biopics are, it's not a documentary, it's a movie. So not everything is like, there's still things that are loosely told. So it doesn't matter. It's a TV movie, bro. 5-6 hours long. What matters is that they were trying to do a mainstream, big budget movie about arguably the greatest entertainer of all time. That movie should have been at least 3 hours long, and the first half of the movie should have been about him as a child. You know that Michael Jackson wrote songs for the Jackson 5s as a kid? He produced and wrote songs for the Jackson 5s. They didn't even show none of that in the movie. It's important to show the accurate stuff that is well known. I actually gotta watch that movie, the James Brown one. I never watched that one, bro, and I like James Brown. Doesn't matter if the movie covered all that, bro. It's a TV movie versus a big production Hollywood movie that is coming out in the mainstream theater. Is this a biopic or not? Yeah, just like I've seen the movie for the Temptations. It's another TV movie that they did. I've watched those movies. They're good. It's not that they're bad, or we're going based off of what they did with this movie. There's no need for a 2-hour movie of Michael Jackson to have 30 Michael Jackson songs like if we never heard it. I never said you're disagreeing. I'm saying that it doesn't matter that that was already told in a TV movie. We're watching a biopic, not a musical. Even with the 30 songs that they played in the background and in the scenes that they were building up certain stuff, it was still trying to be a movie. Nah, they shouldn't have brushed off the Jackson 5. The Jackson 5 was a very integral part as to like how he became who he became and all that. It's part of his phase 1, if you will. Yeah, Get On Up. I remember Get On Up. You know, like when I signed up in my head to go watch this movie, I knew that because they got the same producers from Bohemian Rhapsody, they were going to do the kind of movie that we ended up watching, which was a fun, positive popcorn flick that focused more on, the hype and the music and some of his, tender moments. They did focus on, the human side of him, which is great. I love that part. I like the Beatles, but I'm not like a diehard fan or anything like that. I like some of them. I just would have done the first half of the movie all Jackson 5 stuff. How he started growing apart from the group, that he started writing his own music and having these ideas. I mean, even the relationship that he had with his mom in the movie was watered down. No, I mean, dude, At this point, the movie already butchered the first most crucial part of Michael Jackson's life. What are they gonna go in depth in with the second one? Some of his other songs and the allegations. Like, what's done is done already. Maybe they could do a director's cut and add more. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that. Honestly, I think they're going to use whatever footage they didn't put in this into the next one. What up, Zane? Thank you, Jason. It's the same hat I wore for WrestleMania. Yeah, well, Priscilla Presley. I mean, the movie's gonna start off with the bad tour if they end up doing it like this one, but I don't know. They already did what they did. Listen, I love the version that we got. It is simple. It is sweet, masterful, powerful performances. That's all I could really say. I mean, they just left a lot of meat on the bone. It's a movie for the casual fans to really like sink their teeth into it, and like, you know, they're going to create new fans. Hold on, I was reading something online. I was going to bring it up now, but it's irrelevant to what we're talking about, so it's all good. Bro, I just saw a post right now, believe it or not, about Michael Jackson's family having sold one of his they tried selling one of his briefs, like his underwear. His family put up for auction his underwear. Nah, I was reading something, my fault. You hear the bad news about what people about the people that got released? bro, I've seen the Jackson American Dream. That movie's not gonna change anything. It's a good movie. They also had like almost 6 hours to tell that story, but it doesn't change the fact that they had the chance to make something better now. They sold the catalog he fought to purchase and keep for so long. Yeah, they wanted the money. They needed the money. Yeah, of course, bro. Of course the family is using him. Of course they're milking him. That's exactly what I'm talking to you guys about right now. As a fan, I love the movie, but what they tried doing with this movie is to up his value. Cody Rhodes won already? What the hell? They are exploiting the name at the end of the day. They produced it. They allowed it. But that doesn't mean everybody's intent on this project is a bad one. I've told you guys, I've told you guys about things like this when it comes to like WWE or even 2K. He got up and started dancing. Thank God I didn't see nobody get up and start dancing. I just wanted to enjoy the movie, man. I didn't want none of those theatrics. Don't be coming in here to ruin it for everybody. Yeah, Scary Movie 6 is going to be dope, man. How cringe is that? I've seen the videos of people doing it. Me and Brian were talking about it because a lot of people were doing it and posting it on Twitter, and I'm like, man, I ain't trying to see all that. I'm trying to watch the movie. That's what music is all about, man. It's supposed to help you heal. It's supposed to help you pass time. It's supposed to help you, like, connect and, you know. That's what it's all about, for real. You worked out to bad. You don't know you moonwalk to your seat in the theater. I wish I could moonwalk. I can't moonwalk for shit. Nothing is sacred anymore. You hope WWE drops TKO. TKO owns WWE, my friend. It's the other way around. People are just fans of his songs. Well, yeah, that's why the movie was made how it was made, and that's why I enjoyed the movie. That's why I said I enjoyed the movie for what it is, because they had all his epic bangers in there, you know? How can I be mad about that? Nah, I didn't sing or kick at all. I was locked in, bro. I was locked in. It's okay for them to dance. Nah, not in front of the screen ruining the movie for people. After the movie, whatever. But dancing in front of the screen and ruining the movie for people while the middle of the movie is happening is crazy. Especially with how expensive it is to go watch those movies nowadays. Bro, how did I target my own guy? No, actually, you're very wrong, Zane. TKO owns WWE, the brand, the legacy, all that stuff. You watch it in 4D. Yeah, you know, I like the 4D stuff, but that shit is very distracting. I've seen a bunch of movies with it. I like watching movies by itself and then watching the movie in 4D, depending on which movie for sure. But the good thing is that the Michael Jackson movie did have a lot. Now I know, now that I've watched it, I understand why they put it in 4D. They put it in 4D because there's literally 30 Michael Jackson songs that get played throughout the movie. What up, Swizzy? You blocking the movie, that's a different story. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that stood up and covered the screen. Oh yeah, I ain't winning this match tonight, I'll tell you that. As for my universe, there was a bug. Austin Aries was thrown over the rope. He was thrown over the rope. He was holding for dear life. No one tried to knock him off, and HBK won. That's funny. I never can say goodbyes whenever LWF goes off air. Yeah, TKO owns everything about WWE, man. They could do whatever they want. They could cancel WrestleMania. They could cancel the Hall of Fame. They could change wrestlers' names. They could change theme songs. They could literally do whatever the hell they want. Now, the performers don't have to perform for them. Yeah, they could walk out on them. They could have a dispute. They could, you know, it could get ugly, to say the least. But I mean, if you're having a good time and having fun dancing at the back of the theater, dancing, then it's fine. Yeah, that's fine, bro. I'm not against that. I'm not a party pooper either. There's just a lot of people that do stuff to record themselves clowning around to do a social media video. That's what I'm referring to. Like, if you're having a good time and you could do it, go ahead, you know? I hope whenever they figure out what they want to do with the second movie, I just hope that they, you know, they tell us a full story. I think also another thing worth noting, this is the first movie that Jafar has acted in. Let me see. I'm gonna look up Jafar right now. Jafar's 29 years old. That's funny. He did Jackson's Next Generation. It was a TV show, and he was only in one episode. Yeah, this is his first acting role. you know, I'm sure he did. He took acting lessons. I'm sure he did all these things, but maybe he was limited. I don't know. He said he never wanted to act. Yeah, so maybe he was also limited and they protected him as an actor, which he did great. I'm playing World Tour and using Obafemi and his hair changed to all pink. Oh man, that's crazy. You managed to create Boss Man? That's what's up, Ricky. Yeah, he did look like his uncle on stage singing, man. The work that they did with the makeup and the adjustments that they did in post production. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the part that I really enjoyed about the movie. I really enjoyed that about the movie. That was like the best part about the movie. The fact that they managed to the fact that they managed to have him perform as well as he did and make him look almost identical. It's eerie at times, like especially as the movie was going on and they like he kept changing his face. It was crazy. That's interesting, Ricky. Now, Lex, as a fellow fan, how will you rate the movie? Like I said, bro, this is a tribute. Um, this is an awesome, enjoyable movie for what it is, and I'm rating it based on how much I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'll give it a 10, an 8, a 9, whatever rating you want to throw, I'll give it. Like, I'm fine with giving it a 10 in terms of enjoyment. But the part that you hear me talking about, it's not necessarily a complaint, is more of wishful thinking. I wish they would have dug deeper. I wish they would have told more. I wish they would have shared more overall. That's all it is. It's more of me feeling like while they did give me a good movie that I was able to enjoy as a Michael fan, and I was able to enjoy all the performances and the decisions they made, I respect it. For the time that they told a 2-hour movie, it made me feel emotional. It made me feel connected. It made me feel like I was there. You know, I saw it in Dolby Cinema, so I had the 360 surround sound. At times it felt like I was at the concert. So the fact that you were able to make me feel something and teleport me to those moments of epic greatness, I appreciate that and I value that and I enjoyed that. I'm not going to be like those movie critics that like, oh yeah, if in terms of biopic, it's missing this, it's missing that, it didn't do this, it didn't do that. And like, I'm not going to break down the movie in that fashion and give it a 0 out of 10. The whole purpose of watching a movie is to be entertained, to be distracted, and to get lost in what you're watching. I felt all those emotions. I was lost in what I was watching. I wasn't distracted on my phone. I wasn't thinking about when it was going to end. I was emotionally attached and I felt it. So the fact that they were able to achieve that at a very high level, that is something that I give them all the credit in the world for. For sure, they're making a second movie and putting everything it didn't show in the first. But like I told Super, it's not about being mean or anything like that. It's about being realistic here. If they tell everything right and go deeper into the second movie and there's more dialogue and all,
they already skipped all the years. They already went from the 60s to the 80s, almost the 90s. They stopped at 88. So what are we talking about? What are they going to be more in depth with? Like the 90s? This movie is a big MJ propaganda. Like, we got to call it what it is. It's meant to create new fans, it's meant to satisfy old fans, and it's also going to piss off a lot of people that don't like him. The people that don't care for Michael Jackson and feel like he did everything that they said he did, and like, they're going to hate this movie. This movie is a big advertisement, bro. I don't want to spoil it for you, Jay. I don't want to spoil it for you. You should check it out whenever you have a chance. 90s to the 2000s, I don't know. I want more, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I also understand that there's a movie called The American Dream. I understand that there's a good TV, solid depiction of his early days. But you can't make a project this big and be like, oh, people already watched the early days movie. I'm going to skip all of that. So why even bother, right? Like, no, this movie was done. It was approved. Like, I hope you guys know that there is still a lawyer that manages Michael Jackson's estate. They literally give them instructions on what they can and can't do with Michael Jackson's image. That's really what it comes down to. Did they have Bubbles? I mean, they had to have Bubbles. That was one of his biggest friends. I do feel like you guys, if you go in with the mindset of, I want to listen to Michael Jackson's music, I want to see a portrayal of his family, you're going to get it. You're going to feel sorry for him. You're going to feel the music. You're going to enjoy it because it's that kind of movie. It's meant to be a positive, impactful movie. But at the end of the day, this is 100% a viral movie. This is a movie that is meant to go viral, and it's meant to um, shine light on Michael Jackson 15 to 20 years after his passing. And it's almost like a rebranding. It's like a relaunch to, like, I could only think about like what people from like my nephew's generation feel. Like, my nephew, I believe, was born in, and it's funny if he watches this. He was born like in 2008, right? Michael Jackson passed away in 2009. Like, he was literally like 1 year old. So Michael Jackson wasn't even around when he grew, and like, he heard him on the radio because I remember him as a kid dancing and stuff, and we put it on. And but this movie is going to show in real time what that person was like in some capacity. And that's what this movie is going to do. There's a lot of people that are going to get to watch this movie now and get to enjoy a piece of Michael Jackson. When I was a kid, I was raised on Michael Jackson. I saw Michael Jackson on TV. I got to witness him release new music, and I got to enjoy his greatness in real time. I didn't get to go to a concert, unfortunately, but he was around. Now, decades later, he is around in spirit and through his music. And this is a relaunch of that. But either way, I didn't come onto the stream to review and talk about MJ the whole time. I'm rambling a little too much with you guys. I'm just having fun talking about the movie. Cause I know that people are going to have fun with it. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You were born in 2008, that's cool. Oh yeah. It's MJ week. That's true. I saw when they put him in the back of the ambulance. I saw that on TV as well. You're a big Michael Jackson fan as well. That's awesome. I unfortunately met the doctor who killed him. For real? How did you meet him? And why do you say unfortunately? Now this is interesting, G Lee. Now you got me hooked. I was about to end the stream, but now you got me hooked. What up, Joshua? You're happy Demolition's in the game? Yeah, it's cool that they got him in the game. I don't really care for them personally. But it's all right. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are enjoying them. I just had like my first match with them tonight because I was playing my faction. He used to work for TSA and he came through Philly Airport shortly after his release. Really? And you recognized him, huh? That's interesting. I would not recognize that guy. I don't even remember what he looks like. Hey, is that really a picture of you or is that an AI photo? I just clicked on your profile picture because I've seen you in the chat before and that was really interesting that you got to see him. I saw his ID. Oh, yeah, I do remember his name. You can't forget that guy's name. Oh, man. That guy, I see his picture of him looking sad as hell in the courts. 73 years old now. He resides in Trinidad and Tobago, sorry. In May 2023, he opened the DCM Medical Institute in San Juan, Trinidad, where he continues to practice medicine. He was released from prison in 2013. Damn, he was only in jail for 2 years. It's an AI photo of you? Oh, okay. Thank you for answering. Some people will get weirded out. I only asked because I clicked on it. I was like, I've seen G Lee here before. And then I saw it and I was like, damn, that looks a little too perfect. See, the problem with that guy, Conrad, he was paid to do a job. He's a doctor. He knows what's right and what's wrong in terms of dosage. But the part that people don't think about is you have Michael Jackson, one of the most powerful, polarizing figures in history, telling you he wants more. I get it. It's his job to say no. It's his job to let him know, hey, I can't. But he did it because it was Michael Jackson. And it's not easy to be put in that predicament. I see you changed your photo. Okay, I got you. Hey, man, but the AI photo looks like you too. That's dope. At least you didn't like do a complete catfish. That's what's up, G Lee. I appreciate you, man. Michael's real name on all ID is Michael Joe Jackson. Yeah, it is. It's not easy being cheesy. I mean, listen, you got one of the most powerful entities in life telling you, give me more. Maybe he could tolerate it. Maybe he'll survive. I mean, people say that he was paid to kill that dude off. I don't know about all the conspiracies out there, but, people say that he killed them on purpose. Good to be here. Love your channel. You keep it real. Appreciate that, G Lee. I'm glad that you get that vibe and you get that feel, because that's all I ever want to do. Anytime someone tells me that, I always give them a shout out, because that's all I ever want to be on here. I don't want to switch up for the bright lights. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sugarcoat things because I want to say the right thing. I just want to say how I feel and try to be entertaining in the process and put out some good content. Favorite movie of all time is Inception. No questions asked. No doubt about it. Favorite movie of 2025, F1. I know a lot of people think that he was responsible, and he was involuntarily though. I don't know if I believe all the theories that he was sent specifically to, follow a certain protocol, but he did have a lot of power and didn't want to perform anymore, and people thought he was killed because he didn't want to perform. Crazy theory. I think that let's play into the theory. I think that if he were to have been conspired against, it was more because of the knowledge that he had on in the industry and how much he owned of Sony records because of the Beatles catalog, because of his own catalog, because of business decisions that he made at an early age to set himself up, but also just who he was. And he couldn't really be controlled like that, all except for his family, right? His family was his kryptonite. And anyone who loves their family, for better or worse, they'll be your kryptonite in situations like the ones he was put in, where he was taken advantage. He was, mentally abused and physically abused. And, there came a time where he wasn't going to take that shit anymore from anyone. Jermaine was definitely, the second biggest one there in terms of male figures. And he tried going off on his own, So they had rivalries, and they also had disconnects as well, because keep in mind, they wanted to prove that they could do it without MJ. MJ wanted to prove that he could do it without them. Prince was the rivalry in the industry. That's not what he's talking about, Super. He's talking about family rivalry. Like, there's jealousy that goes into play here. They didn't talk for many years. They were distant from each other. They had a big fallout. I mean, they're having a big fallout right now as we speak. Janet Jackson is literally beefing. People call everything conspiracy without reading into it. Why people say things. I do feel Sony played a part in it, like you said, the knowledge he had for sure. Yeah, like at the end of the day, Michael was just doing whatever he wanted, however he wanted. And this tour that he was going to do in 2009, this is it. It was basically going to be his big final FU. He was going to pay off everything. He was going to give the fans one last hoorah. And he was going to sail into the sunset. And unfortunately, he just sailed into the sunset sooner than he expected. Jermaine had jealousy and something to prove. I think they maybe, I don't want to speak for them, but we can assume that a lot of them did. Yeah, people thought that they could control him with money and fame. And that's the thing, man. Michael Jackson became a loose cannon. But that was in the later years. It took a while for him to get there. And, I'm not going to shy away from the allegations. At the end of the day, he won all the trials and the cases, and we heard families come forward with the children admitting that the parents forced them to lie and that the parents were trying to seek money and pay off. Like, MJ was not on the Epstein files. MJ was not caught in any of those things with other people. But everyone else that has done some dirty shit has gotten caught in some way, shape, or form. But he had bodyguards with him all the time. He had employees in the house with him all the time. And I know people are saying, "Oh, everybody covered up for him. He was he had yes man and this and that." And I get that. That is easy to believe as well. But aren't you going to actually try to believe the people that were around him? Like, there's still people till this day that vouch for him. After all these years, by now we would have seen or heard more than what we've seen or heard. Yeah, the TikTok theories have posted about MJ protecting the kids, and there's like this AI voiceover saying, "Oh, Michael Jackson was actually trying to protect everybody." Michael Jackson, um, it's okay to say this. It's okay to know this as a fan, as a person, as a human being overall. He was weird. Weird because he was not the average guy. He was not just a normal person. He had weird tendencies. And it went from weird to inappropriate because there's age restrictions, there's things that society has set as standards that are considered appropriate and inappropriate. And a lot of the things that he surrounded himself with by choice were inappropriate. But it was inappropriate for those that felt it was inappropriate. Because Macaulay Culkin and Chris Tucker, like you're saying, Geely, like people that still vouch for him, they saw his innocence and they were, they were close to him. Who are we to say otherwise? That's the part where I don't get from people that are so angry. Oh, believe all you want to be fed and this and that. I'm like, bro, like, why are you screaming? Like, relax. Angelo Dawkins and Carmelo Hayes got released. I'm gonna Google this right now. I think he's capping. Let's Google it. Nothing comes up as from Google. So when it comes down to the nitty gritty, man, I feel like you can choose what you want to believe and you could feel how you want to feel, but that's what I told Super Saiyan. Oh, maybe they didn't want to, put this person there or do this or like it's still an inaccurate approach because you're skipping stuff. And if we're going to stick to the biopic tropes, for anyone that may not understand what that means, is like every biopic movie is the same. It's the innocent start on how things got to where it got, and the rise to stardom and getting backstabbed, screwed, or abused, the 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 cream rising to the top. Like every biopic has the same trajectory, the same climax. Like every movie has it. Michael Jackson, the movie is no different. The big difference is that those biopics, they have a beginning, middle, and end where they focus on something other than just one person abusing the family, so to speak, the entire time. Like they made, Joe Jackson seem like if he was like Thanos to the family. Regardless, won't be an artist as big as MJ, but see, that's your fandom talking, because that's not what we're talking about. I already said that Michael Jackson is arguably the biggest entertainer of all time. That means that no one will touch him in that category. We've already covered that, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it comes down to just representing him properly. She lived in the house. You can tell he's Michael's son. I think the powers that be wanted to make MJ a monster with the allegations, kind of like scapegoat, while normal celebrities were doing those things they claimed MJ was doing. Crazy to think that, right? That people were all throwing shade at him and there was actually people legitimately doing that behind the scenes. He was the boogeyman. Yeah, that's how the movie painted him, He was indeed painted as this boogeyman. At the end of the day, though, as bad as they painted him, I can still tell you with a straight face, without knowing a whole lot, because I wasn't there in person, and whether one movie depicted it or another, or he got traumatized or didn't get traumatized, or like that guy raised, what was it, like 9 children overall, and he put clothes on their backs, food in their stomach, and he loved them in his own way. And at that time, working the factory, dead end job that he was working, and having so many family members, and discovering that your kids have some sort of talent that you could say that he was exploiting them now because of who they became, but he was actually trying to, shape them into, he whipped them into shape, which sucks. It's like horrible. It's the worst thing ever. And I don't condone that shit. But that's the only way he knew how, unfortunately. And he probably wasn't even aware of the shit he did until later. Obviously, when he split from his wife and the family turning on him, I'm sure he had to have had a self-reflecting moment at some point in his life where he realized that as great as his children turned out to be in terms of superstardom, he failed as a father to protect them from all the bad that he traumatized them with and the industry. Tiffany Stratton won the U.S. title? Nah, I didn't watch SmackDown tonight. I gotta watch it. Also, Gary, Indiana, very dangerous. Yeah, so I've read and heard exactly. So, like, he got them out the hood. He got them out the streets. He didn't let them become gang members or fall to gang violence. He wasn't absent. He was actually there in their life, taking them on tour himself. And, MJ was robbed of a childhood. You're right. That was the price he paid to be who he became. That, like, there's nothing comes easy in this world. To reach, that was the exchange for Michael Jackson, the person. It's an unfortunate exchange because nobody deserves to, go through the things he went through. And I'm talking about things that they didn't even show in the movie. So it is crazy. it is insane to think that. But if you want to focus on all the negative that outshine the positive at this point, then that's a choice, because he wasn't the boogeyman. He was a shitty father for prioritizing business and turning, you know, his kids into cash cows, and then trying to continue to abuse that relationship until he couldn't anymore. And that's where he, you know, ultimately fell off the wagon. But all those kids could have, you know, could have fallen into gang violence, could have made it nowhere. Exactly. He was flawed, chose money over nurturing, and he has he has had to he had to have had, I mean, sorry, let me collect my thoughts here. He had to have had gone through those demons at some point in time in his life when he faced the music, right? No pun intended. Like, that was the price he paid. Like, everyone in that family paid something. They put something into that cookie jar to get to where they got to. Michael's the one that, like, put a rocket and launched them into the stratosphere, right? Like, he took them to, like, to infinity and beyond, immortalized them. They weren't just another group. And even if they're known for the rest of mankind's existence as Michael Jackson's brothers, they were all still very talented and had musical careers before Michael Jackson became, you know, what we knew him to be. So that's what I was hoping from the movie. I think we covered a good portion of it, a good chunk of it. They delivered on the excitement. They delivered on a good time. They delivered on, you know, honoring his legacy. But still, to this day, they're taking advantage of the moment and the name. And they're not the only ones taking advantage. Now there's a bunch of new allegations that are coming out. TMZ was also posting a bunch of Michael Jackson stuff today. There's just so many people that are trying to make money off of his back, even though he's been dead for like damn near 2 decades. It's crazy. Once you end the live stream, I'll probably catch up on your actual videos. I may or may not be like a month behind. It's all good, man. Nice distraction after the wrestler releases. That's kind of like what I wanted to do tonight on stream. Shout out to Leader. He's the one that hit me up in Discord and said, hey, Lex, how about a stream tonight? After all these releases, you know, we should go online and talk about it, because it's tough, man. Like, you know, let's close the stream out talking about that. Let's cover that. That's actually a good way to close out. This is a wrestling overall channel, right? So might as well. But I'm happy to be here, Gonark. I legitimately hate where TKO is taking WWE. Joe did a job though. Have them focus on music rather than actual like hood gang. Nah, for sure, for sure. People losing their jobs suck. I never want to point out like they should have fired this person instead of that person, even though we start doing that because we start pointing out the favorites versus the non-favorites, and it becomes like this tug of war between fans, and then people start calling out AEW and this. Like, I already seen some of the comments and I'm just like rolling my eyes. I'm like, bro, like, why do we do this as an online community? Like, instead of just talking about like, all right, bro, now these wrestlers are gonna go on to like, let's help, you know, hit like on their post and their videos and retweet and share it so they could go viral and make some money in the indies or something. Like, hopefully they could take advantage of this opportunity, and instead of looking at it as a negative, because they lost a guaranteed job with WWE, but now they could use what they the the fame they built in the company, they could go and use that elsewhere. Like Aleister Black can now go work with his wife across the board anywhere. The Wyatt Six can form together a different group and call themselves something totally different and literally run a similar gimmick as long as there's no copyright infringement. There's a couple of young guns that got released from like NXT and stuff that they're in trouble, but you know, they could go work somewhere else and hopefully crack into the business. Like all these people network and keep in touch. So I think they'll, if they're meant to be and they don't give up on their dream, if it's still their dream, then they'll make it somewhere. Unless you are a detriment to society or the company, you shouldn't lose your job. At the end of the day, they're still human beings. I feel that, G Lee, but they can't keep everyone under contract if they don't foresee using them for the amount of money they're being paid. Like, there's no easy handouts, especially when they're calling up so many people from NXT as we speak. Like, even John Cena retiring and Brock Lesnar retiring and AJ Styles retiring, that creates a gap in the main event scene. And then Aleister Black and all these other people that got let go, that creates a spot in the mid card, in the lower card. Like there are spots now that are becoming available because of the shift in WWE. And TKO, they're looking at everybody like a number. I'm gonna just say this out loud, man. I hate TKO. I don't really care to talk about them. I don't really use the word hate lightly. I don't tend to use that word or feeling or emotion overall because I don't want that in my life. But the reason why I say something so strong as hate towards a stupid corporate company that literally runs two organizations that I love the UFC, I love WWE, but I hate what they're doing. I hate that they're butting in and ruining my enjoyment. Like, I don't want to talk about this company. I said this the other day on stream. I don't know if you guys were here, but I said, why are we talking about the parent company that owns the brand that we enjoy watching? Why am I talking about TKO? Why do I know who they are? I don't want to know who these morons are. I don't give a shit that this guy made $65 million. Why am I talking about him? Why do I know about this? Because they're fucking annoying. And they're changing the shit that we love because they think they know what's best for business because they're trying to make this into some stupid ass celebrity bullshit that no one gives a crap about. Celebrities are welcome because they add to the story sometimes. But the way that TKO is handling it is against the tradition and against the enjoyment of the people that actually rock with you week to week, that buy your shirts, that buy your hats, that buy your video games. Casuals ain't buying the fucking video game, bro. They'll tune in for Wrestlemania, Royal Rumble, and peace out. Who are you doing wrestling for? Who's your audience? I'm going to tell you right now, bro, Matt Cardona's going to get fired eventually. Alpha Academy's going to get fired eventually. Rusev is going to get fired eventually. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get let go eventually because they have so much talent that's coming up in NXT. Young people that they're getting from college. They're paying them nothing. Yeah, like the Creed brothers. Like, and then they got AAA that they're farming. They're farming superstars in AAA. They're farming superstars in NXT. And then occasionally you'll see them sign some names like, you know, Royce Keys and shit. They're going to sign some AEW TNA guys like Joe Hendry. So they got to make space for these people. They can't employ everyone. That's why, like, when people wanted Vince McMahon gone, I always said, are you sure? Or do you even know what you want? Oh, yeah, Vince sucks. I hate his booking. Vince is a piece of shit. Vince is... Are you sure you want that old man gone? I don't think none of us could have ever predicted this. And then people say, oh, now you want Vince McMahon back. You don't remember 2019? Dog, I remember 2019. The worst wrestling's ever been was like during the pandemic in 2020. 2019 wasn't that bad to me, bro, because even with the bad spots that they had, they still had some pretty dope moments as well. Like, people always want to say, oh, 2019 is the worst year in WWE history. Like, maybe if you if you pile up all the issues, or 2018, I don't know, those years where John Cena was like in and out. I don't know, bro. Like, I tuned in for the PLEs, and I remember, like, I guess I was just watching it from afar. I don't know, like casual. I was tuning into the PLEs and watching some shows during the week. I wasn't even doing what I'm doing now, where I watch the shows after they air to skip the commercials. Like, I actually watch and keep up with it pretty decent. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I watch AEW pay-per-views. I think I'm going to start watching a little bit more than just pay-per-views for AEW, because I'm getting sick of the TKO shit, bro. WrestleMania 34 was garbage. Let me see what was WrestleMania 34. Let me look up the match card. Vince didn't have to sell it to anybody. He could have just put Hunter and Steph in charge and he would have still been making money. I'm looking up WrestleMania 34 match card. The one in New Orleans, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, singles Universal Championship match. I don't even remember who won that match. AJ Styles versus Nakamura. Oh, that's the one that people bashed it. Yeah, that match, I don't know what happened with that match. I guess they couldn't go as hard. Oh, Braun Strowman and Nicholas. That match was definitely bad because of the kid. Daniel Bryan and Shane. Oh, but that's when Daniel Bryan was coming back, though. I thought that was dope, man. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. Undertaker versus John Cena. That was a cool match, though. The John Cena drinking beer all night and then getting destroyed by the Undertaker. The Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos versus New Day. That was a dope match, the triple threat. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I like that. Fatal 4 for the U.S. title. Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Rusev. I was cool with that. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. That show was dope. Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor. I thought that was good. It was a good show. You know, they gave a chance to Nakamura. I mean, everybody's talking about how Nakamura never got a shot. I mean, at least he had that moment. Oh, they killed Asuka's streak. Yeah, but see, I didn't care about that because I love Charlotte Flair. I thought it was deserved. The world title match in particular, it was disappointing. Yeah. Roman versus Brock when nobody cared. I liked Roman. That maybe that's why I'm biased, because I like, you know, you were there live and people were bored. I mean, I was there live at the one in Orlando and Miami. There's always people that are gonna be like that. Underwhelmed. I mean, the match card kind of like, if you were there, you knew what you were getting into. I don't know. I wouldn't have traveled for that match card, I'll tell you that, but Paige signed a multi-year deal. Oh yeah, Paige signed a multi-year deal. Like, why do they, they legit trying to diss off on boring during the Roman and Brock? They did? How do you remember that? How long was the Brock and Roman match? Let me see how long that Brock and Roman match. Was that the main event? See, but that's another thing too, guys. A lot of people dislike Roman because he was Vince's guy. I was there for that one. Outside of John Cena's ringside shenanigans, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed that show. Bro, the Brock Lesnar match lasted 15 minutes and 55 seconds, almost 16 minutes. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know, dude. I remember watching it and just I enjoyed it. It was better than night one. Better than night one, I'll tell you that. They made Roman kick out of 5 F5s and still lose. I mean, it's WrestleMania though. That's what WrestleMania is all about, that, you know? Too many ads and under 12-minute matches. No wonder fans are mad and prices. We need to boycott. Man, we don't need to boycott nothing. People need to just not go. You know, it was better than night one of WrestleMania, filled with ads and unfulfilling matches that rushed the ending. Bro is trying so hard to defend WrestleMania 34. How am I defending WrestleMania 34? All I said is that it's better than night one of Mania this year. And I didn't think it was that bad. That's not defending it. That's just saying I didn't have a poor experience with it. I think it was all right. Bro, I mean, listen. I'm a sucker for Shane McMahon. I think Kevin Owens and Sammy are always good. I didn't care too much for Daniel Bryan ever. I loved Roman. I enjoyed Brock. I enjoyed that AJ and Shinsuke were feuding, even though I didn't like that match. That match to me was the biggest disappointment of the night. I love the Seth Rollins Rusev stuff, like the Intercontinental match. I just think that you guys have a hard time putting together your emotions and feeling like not every WrestleMania has to be the best WrestleMania ever. Like there's good WrestleManias, there's all right WrestleManias. Lex, I appreciate you going live tonight, brother. It was much needed. Listen, you guys turning up and enjoying the conversations that we've had tonight and sticking around, that made my night, because I did a video today that I thought was a good video that I wanted to put together, and it barely got to 600 and like something views. It almost got to like 700 views. It didn't cross 1,000. The video before that struggled as well. Video wise, the channel's struggling mightily. Stream wise, you guys are telling me you've been getting ads, but it's not like I've been getting paid off. Thank you for the 99 cents, Super. I even took a screenshot to tell Leader, because Leader's like, oh, all these ads. Thank you for the 99 cents. I took a screenshot to bring it up on stream. Let me see, where's that? I was flabbergasted by these numbers. Do I still have it here? Oh, here it is. There was a live stream that I did the other day with you guys. I made 51 cents while live streaming. 51 cents through the watch page ads. But I made $1.75 from the replay. Whoever tuned into the replay and skipped through the stream, I made $1.75. But from the actual stream itself, I made 51 cents. Just to give you guys a little behind the scenes look. And that's usually how it is. I make a couple of pennies. Sorry if this is a dumb question, but does YouTube actually pay you from ads? They do. More in videos than on stream, though. That's another thing, Lex. There's, what, billions, hundreds of people around the world saying people shouldn't just go for the live events. I mean, there are people who will still give them money. Exactly. That's the whole thing. We're in a weird time right now because people that got the money are going to the events regardless of what people say online or however people say they feel overall. WrestleMania 32. Let me see which one is that one. These normal stream, the ads are light, but whenever it's LWF, the stream ads are rapid. I think it's probably because of the activity. Since these streams are more calm, I guess the YouTube algorithm just doesn't launch the ads as much. But let me see what WrestleMania 32 was. Oh, the first one in Texas. Roman Reigns versus Triple H. The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. I love that match. I love that match. The Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. I mean, I just always enjoyed Brock Lesnar being involved when I was older. Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. The League of Nations. I enjoyed. Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha Banks. Loved that shit. Now, that WrestleMania was dope. Baron Corbin won the Andre the Giant. I do remember this one. The Rock came out and he did like a surprise 1v1 with Eric. I thought that was just cheese, pure cheese. That's the one that Zack Ryder won the ladder match. Hell no, bro. This WrestleMania was good. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that WrestleMania, bro. I most definitely enjoyed that WrestleMania. I was cheesing with that one. I 100% enjoyed that one. I don't know what y'all on with that one. I'm sorry. I can't agree with y'all on that one. Like WrestleMania 34, I get it. Some stuff could be underwhelming here and there, but 32 was a vibe for me. They had all the heels win. Who cares? Have some fun, lighten up. That Undertaker Shane McMahon, I mean, that match was crazy. I don't know, man. I didn't hate those matches because I didn't have a problem with Roman. Yeah, bro. He lost the belt the next day, but it's all about like WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, that shit was dope. Who was in the main event? Was that the Roman and Triple H main event? Or was it Brock and Dean? Like, who was the main event? I don't know. Oh, Roman versus Triple H. I'm a Triple H guy. I'm a Roman guy, so I was cool with that. Sorry, bro. Sorry, not sorry. You could call me a Roman meat writer. You guys don't understand. I've legit been a Roman fan since always. WrestleMania 27. All right, let me see that one. I mean, I think Roman went from being a guy that I really liked to a generational talent that I ended up loving. All right, I'm looking for the WrestleMania 27 match card. Oh, this is the one from Atlanta? Bro, The Rock was involved with that one. And The Miz versus Cena was a good match. I like The Miz. Undertaker versus Triple H, no holds barred. The Rock had just came back. Yeah, bro. All right. The Snooki with Trish Stratus and John Morrison. I mean, that was a cheesy match, but that was like their little celebrity baloney. Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler was definitely garbanzo, but Stone Cold was the freaking special guest referee, bro. I'll take Stone Cold any way I can. It was a good storyline. Like, Michael Cole was one of the biggest heels in the company. Randy Orton versus CM Punk. Big Show 8-man tag match. It was Big Show, Kane, Kofi Kingston, and Santino versus the Core. Come on. Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, I'll take it. Edge versus Alberto Del Rio, I remember that. No, that WrestleMania was dope, man. That's Atlanta. I remember that one. You tripping. I enjoyed that. And The Miz had one of the dopest entrances. You can hate me now, but I won't stop now. Awesome. I came to play. Interesting. I didn't know people didn't like that one. I enjoyed the crap out of that one. I was a big Wade Barrett fan, bro. The bubbles. Oh, like the awesome letter in bubbles? Nah, I didn't care for the awesome letters in bubble, but I like the video package. I still remember it till this day. It's universally hated. Man, I live under a rock then, bro. Thank God. God forbid I enjoyed something that the masses bashed. Yeah, man, I like that Wade Barrett was in the game too. I feel like Forgotten One is WrestleMania 33. Let me see which one's WrestleMania 33. WrestleMania 27 is pretty much considered worst WrestleMania of all time. Really? Are you serious right now? All right, let me do 33 and then I'll do 29. Hold on. This year, night 1 didn't feel like Mania, but night 2 did. I felt like I watched night 1 on the... Let's do WrestleMania 33. Let me see what he's talking about. Hey, man, who mentioned WrestleMania 33 in here? Gunark. I was at that WrestleMania. That shit was awesome, man. I was there from like 5 o'clock till 1 in the morning. That shit was amazing. I don't care what y'all say, man. I love that WrestleMania, and I haven't even gone back to watch it on TV. I watched it live in person. Is it the best WrestleMania ever? No, but like I mean, Seth Rollins versus Triple H, unsanctioned match. Randy Orton versus Bray. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. They actually had a decent match. Roman Reigns versus Undertaker was a solid match. That's the one that wasn't Shane McMahon. Yeah, Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. That was like my favorite match of the night, I think, in terms of bell to bell. What up, Venom? Bailey versus Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. The Hardys came back. Nah, man. Happy birthday, Kev. Thank you for tuning in and spending some time with us on your birthday, man. Happy birthday. WrestleMania 33, you gotta be kidding me, man. You are sleepy. All right, which one did you say, leader? Yo, chat, help me wish Kev a happy birthday, man. WrestleMania 29. New Jersey. John Cena versus The Rock. Triple H versus Brock Lesnar. Undertaker versus CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. That's the one that Fandango beat Chris Jericho. I was pissed about that. Team Hell No versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E. Mark Henry versus Ryback. The Shield versus Big Show, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. Nah, you tripping, man. You tripping. You tripping, man. What did you think about those Mania cinematic matches during the pandemic? All right, let me look it up. What WrestleMania is that one? I enjoyed the night 1 main event too. WrestleMania 36. Let's see. All right. So I remember watching this one vividly. I saw this one at my brother's house in the living room with my family. They tuned in despite not really being wrestling fans. It was the pandemic. It was crazy times. Um, Undertaker versus AJ was 100% my favorite match. Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, I didn't even remember that match, honestly. I didn't even remember Goldberg was on the card. That's dope, though. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, I bet that was a banger, but I mean, I saw the whole show. I just can't remember any of these things. Becky Lynch versus Baszler. I was just happy that Baszler was in that spot, but Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. It's not a bad match card here. Oh, I remember the SmackDown Tag Titles ladder match that had John Morrison, Kofi, and Jimmy Uso. I remember that match. That match was all right. I mean, that was night one, though. What about night two? Oh, Drew McIntyre versus Brock. I remember when he won that one. The Firefly John Cena match with the Fiend. That was interesting. Um, Edge versus Randy Orton was my favorite match of the weekend. Yes, I remember Last Man Standing. They fought around the whole arena. 100% my favorite match all week, and I remember that match like it was yesterday. I remember that watching that shit, man. That shit just you guys just gave me a little flashback to that show. What up, Mason? Yeah, I remember that WrestleMania. Um Pandemic Mania felt like a blur. The pandemic WWE era was a blur. Um I didn't watch any wrestling during that time really, except for WrestleMania. I tuned into WrestleMania because, and then I remember one year I went back to watch the Money in the Bank. I thought that shit was crazy, how they did it in the building. I mean, they got really creative with the edits. You like that match, the Randy Orton versus Edge match? I felt like that was one of Edge's best, like since coming back. Mason, you always ask me the same question. I can't believe you. Yeah, Tyler Breeze is signed to WWE because he does like social media with them. It's crazy. Good for him though, man. He has a solid job. Not gonna say they should fire him if that's what you're thinking. WrestleMania 35. Ooh, I remember I was annoyed that the women were closing out the night, but that Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair match was disgusting. They did a good job. I was pissed off about Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. I was mad about that. Yeah, I would. This WrestleMania, I was actually pretty annoyed with the women closing the show, just because I felt like they were trying to be edgy and different. But it was the right call because that match was good. The Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle, like I wasn't a big Corbin fan. I didn't think that Corbin should have been the one to retire him. I get what they were trying to do. Didn't work. Um, I love Kurt Angle though, so seeing Kurt Angle for the last time was an emotional thing for me personally. He's one of my favorites of all time. Finn Balor versus as the Demon against Bobby Lashley. I mean, seeing Bobby Lashley back in WWE was cool to me. Triple H versus Batista was probably match of the night for me because, you know, I'm a big Batista guy and that was Triple H's last match. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. That was Kofi Mania. I mean, how could I ever forget? That was a dope one. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, I thought was random, but I thought it was cool too. That's when Drew was building back up, wasn't it? The Iconics versus Sasha Banks and Bailey versus now. Oh, I remember that match. That was super whatever. Shane McMahon versus The Miz, Falls Count Anywhere. Um, Shane McMahon, anytime he's on the card, guilty pleasure. Samoa Joe versus Ray. I forgot about that match, but Samoa Joe was there, so dope. Usos were the best tag team in the world, so I was happy to see him. I thought Nakamura and Rusev, I didn't even remember they were a tag team. I thought that's crazy that they were even there. AJ versus Randy, you know, that's like a banger matchup. And Seth versus Brock, banger too. Like, the problem with that Mania was that it was long. Yeah, I had a lot of matches. They did Kurt dirty because they were trying to put over Baron Corbin. You're not a huge Batista fan. Yeah, that wasn't a bad Mania. See, my whole thing is that I don't even think night one of WrestleMania this year would have been all that bad. I think what made night one of WrestleMania this year bad was the commercials and the way that they did some of the finishes. Like, it made it bad. Like, they didn't do themselves any favors this year with the way they booked the show. They totally messed up with the pacing and the way they got it. Shorty G is a crazy gimmick. Chad Gable got it over, though. What about Mania 9? Yeah, some of the earlier WrestleManias, I've tried going back to watching them. They're rough, same as the Royal Rumbles. Royal Rumble's one of the pay-per-views that I've gone back to try to watch all of them, or most of them, or a good chunk of them. And some of the earlier ones I just had to skip. Diana Ross scenes cut out due to legal issues, says Kat Graham. Also, Diana Ross was supposed to be in the Michael movie I just read right now. I didn't even know that. Random thing, but you know, Michael Jackson's all over the feed right now. All right, my bad, guys. I was catching up with some of these headlines here. Diana really did him dirty. What happened with Diana? 20 wrestlers that got released. Unfortunate that 20 people lost their job. Hopefully this means more opportunity for other people that are getting the spot. My favorite Mania is 10 just because of Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. Now that ladder match is one of the best matches of all time. People constantly ask me, what's your favorite match of all time? That is definitely up there as one of them. I've seen that match like 2 or 3 times, and I'm not really big on going back. Yeah, night one was definitely commercial Mania. I agree. Diana led him on and then broke his heart. Oh, is that why the song's called Dirty Diana? Mania 37. Let me see. I have really bad memory, so I have to see like I have to look up the match card to kind of take me back. I wanted to go to that WrestleMania. I wanted to go so bad. AJ Styles and Omos were champion. I remember that. Cesaro and Rollins had a random match. Bobby Lashley was champion versus Drew. Honestly, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon cage match. I don't remember much. Oh, but Bad Bunny and yeah, that match was a banger. I do remember that. And Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. That was for night one. Night two, let me see what else. Roman Reigns versus Edge. Oh, wait. That's the smash him, stack him, pin him. No, that WrestleMania was nasty. And Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Sami Zayn was with Logan Paul. That's funny. Sheamus versus Riddle. This WrestleMania was good, surprisingly. Randy Orton versus The Fiend. I remember when he pulled up and came out on some like big shit in front of the ring or whatever. That's why even though she denies it. Oh, wow. It was a Jack in the Box, yes. Do you think Brock Lesnar really retired? Probably not. I think he may have a fairy tale SummerSlam retirement. She was supposed to be a good hour at 30 and got cut, they said. Yeah, Alexa turning on Bray was supposed to be for shock. Didn't hit. It was confusing. What about 38? You're trying to see which one I didn't like, huh? Well, I already told you, night one. I don't think that she was in the movie for an hour 30. Actor scenes go by like minutes. She was not going to be in the movie for an hour and 30 minutes, bro. Unless the whole movie centered around their love story. Oh, is that the one that Rick Boogs got hurt? Because I see here that they're fighting for the tag titles. Night one. Didn't they open the show and Rick Boogs blew his knee or some shit? Yeah, that was crazy. I felt so bad for him. I remember Bianca versus Becky Lynch was a solid match. If you quiz me on what happened in these matches, I'll fail. But I remember the feeling. The Usos match could have been better. It just flopped because Rick Boogs got hurt. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. I remember that match now. That was actually a legitimate good feud, but I felt bad for Drew McIntyre getting degraded to that. But Happy Corbin was doing the Mustard Corbin act and shit, and then he became Happy Corbin, so I loved him. I actually liked Corbin at that time. What up, Eric? It showed that Corbin had range. The Miz and Logan Paul, that was a good match versus Ray and yeah, I remember that. Cody versus Seth. Wait. This is the one. This is one of my favorite manias of all time. The one that Stone Cold came back to face Kevin Owens. Yes. Yes, I remember this. RK Bro versus Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. Banger. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Not that good. But Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, that was a surprise. Naomi and Sasha Banks versus Carmella. That was alright. Edge versus AJ Styles. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. That was cool. That was alright. That was a gimmick match. Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee. Gimmick match. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Winner takes all. That match, as much as I love Roman and as much as I freaking defend Roman, that match was a huge letdown for me. I remember that match like it was yesterday. And I was also pissed that they put both belts on Roman because I wanted Roman to stay with the Universal title for like ever. Which Mania had Ryback in it? I don't even remember. But yeah. Well, Diana was way older than MJ, but he had a crush on her from childhood and married someone when he got old enough to date her. That's crazy. What about WrestleMania 22? I don't think I was watching wrestling at that time. All right, now let's get your opinion on SummerSlams. It has to be more the recent ones. I don't remember the old ones. You got to tell me the year. You said Mania 22. I don't even know which one that is. Yeah, I didn't watch this one. I've never watched this WrestleMania. Maybe I've gone back to watch it, but I never watched this Mania. I don't remember it. You said Mania 23. Isn't Mania 17 the one with The Rock and Stone Cold? Come on now. She would have been multiple years. It doesn't mean that she had to be in the movie for multiple years. There's plenty of people that were multiple years and they weren't in the movie as much. I didn't watch this Mania either, but I do remember the Trump versus Vince McMahon stuff. I've gone back to watch this Mania. This Mania was pretty solid, I think. I don't remember too much, but yes, I remember the ladder match. Yes, I've gone back to watch this Mania specifically. What are the released wrestlers you will miss the most? None. Maybe Aleister Black. Which one's the other one? 17. Let me see which one's 17. I did go back and watch the pieces of that Mania. I think I actually might even have that on DVD. Yeah, Stone Cold vs. The Rock. Edge and Christian with the triple threat match. Oh yeah. This I remember watching this Mania as a kid. I can't believe Iron Sheik. Oh, he was in a 19-man battle royale. That's funny. What about 31? Brock Lesnar versus Roman versus Seth Rollins. I remember that one. That was good. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt did not live up to the hype. That match was disappointing. I remember that vividly. John Cena versus Rusev. I remember when Rusev came out in the tank and stuff. I was hyped and John Cena buried him, I felt. Triple H versus Sting. I remember that shit. I was annoyed that Triple H won, but that was a good match. Randy versus Seth was that RKO that was crazy. Changed the game. AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. That's funny. Oh, the Daniel Bryan ladder match. That was a good Mania. I like that one. That was the one in San Francisco. WrestleMania 19. Let me see. I don't remember SummerSlams. Like, I remember the recent ones, but not the older ones. I didn't really watch too many of the older ones. I didn't watch this WrestleMania. Not live, at least. This is a good WrestleMania to go back and watch. The Undertaker versus Big Show and A-Train. That's crazy. I think I have gone back to watch this one because of Team Angle and Los Guerreros and Benoit and Rhino. I think I have seen pieces of this one. I don't remember seeing all of it, though. Yeah, at the Seattle, Washington. Yep, I think I seen pieces of this one. Night of Champions 2015, man. Y'all tripping, making me go on looking up all this. All right, 24 is the last Mania I'll look up. Undertaker versus Edge. Oh, this is the other one in Orlando. I didn't go to this one. I've gone back to watch this one, though. This was a decent Mania. Nothing crazy. Night of Champions 2015. Let's see. Random ass show. Seth Rollins versus Sting. Oh, I remember that one. That's the one that Sting got hurt. John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Wait. Oh, because Seth Rollins had to wrestle twice that night. Damn, that's when Seth Rollins was peaking. Kevin Owens versus Ryback. The New Day versus the Dudley Boys. I remember that. Oh, wow. That was cool, man. That was all right. Charlotte versus Nikki Bella. SummerSlam 17. What's that? That was a good night of champions. Oh, you mean SummerSlam 2017? Yeah, man. I wish Sting would have won that. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman. Damn, a fatal four-way. I forgot about that match. Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura. Oh my God. Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Cesaro and Sheamus. AJ versus Kevin Owens. You know, I forgot about this shit. The Demon Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. Big Cass versus Big Show. I actually remember seeing. Oh man, and Enzo Amore in the Shark Cage. John Cena and Baron Corbin. I forgot about this show. I think that Fatal 4 was nasty. WrestleMania 20, no. I wasn't watching wrestling at that time anymore, I don't think. That was early 2000s. Sting definitely should have won. I wish I gotta go back and watch some of these shows that I forgot. Is that there's so much wrestling on TV nowadays that I don't go back and do that. All right, guys. I think it's time to wrap it up, man. I think it's time to wrap it up. WrestleMania 2021. All right, I will look up those two 19 and 20 back then. I'm going to look up SummerSlam 19 and SummerSlam 21, and that's it. I forgot about some of these matches. That's crazy. Thank you, G Lee. I appreciate that. You missed 19 and 20? Me too, bro. 19 I think I did watch, though. Actually. Seth versus Brock. I don't even remember that. Seth won that match. Oh, I was shocked that Seth won. I was happy. I was happy. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. I remember Kevin Owens would be fired. I do remember this shit. Holy snap. This is when Goldberg squashed Dolph Ziggler. Oh, yeah, I see. I remember this card. I enjoyed this SummerSlam. Bayley beat Ember Moon. I like that. I like that SummerSlam, actually. You did take me. Gotta show you something, Lex? Uh-oh. What are you trying to show me? Guys, I'm going to stream this weekend, and I promise you, I'm going to do the Community Creations hangout. Kind of like what we did tonight that we hung out. Look up LWF 23. Oh, I didn't like The Fiend's debut, man. That shit was creepy. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Oh, I remember I felt shortchanged and lied to with that match. That was a quick match, I think. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. They had a banger. Was that when Becky Lynch was bleeding from the mouth or some shit? Forgot about what? The Fiend debut? I was scared when he debuted. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Ash versus Rhea Ripley. I remember that match, bro. I didn't like Nikki Ash. That was a squash match? Yeah. Oh. Was that when Becky came back? Becky came back and Bianca got squashed? Yes. I remember now vividly. Damian Priest was doing his little thing when he wasn't that over. I remember that. Usos versus the Mysterios. RK Bro versus AJ and Omos. I remember. Eva Marie. Yuck. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. I remember that. Bro, WWE used to give you bang for your buck, man. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches, and they had a pre-show match. 11 matches total. The Return of the Man, I see here. Brock Lesnar came back to confront Roman Reigns to close out the show. 2021. That's crazy, bro. Time flies. That was that long ago. Goldberg sustained an injury against Bobby Lashley. I remember when RK Bro was formed. That was a good SummerSlam. Sent it on Discord. Let me see. I'll pull it up on the computer. Did you make him? This dude really made Michael Jackson. That movie got him feeling some type of way. Did you make this? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Cena was supposed to win that night, but they changed it to have the storyline against Brock and Roman. Oh yeah, I did hear that John Cena said that recently in an interview. I don't think having celebrities is bad, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's all about how you use them. Perfect example, Little Yachty with Trick Willie was good. You did it while on the stream? Damn. That was impressive. Let me pull it up again. I mean, you could touch him up a little bit. I think his nose needs a little bit of work. I'm not going to be too critical about it. But, man, you could tell it's who you're trying to make it out to be. His eyes are perfect. I think his nose is a little off. His eyes are perfect. His lips are pretty decent. His hair is identical. The skin tone is identical. The little 5 o'clock shadow down here is good. I mean, bro, this is better than anything I would do. So salute to you. Too many celebs is a problem. You're right. I agree. Just sent one more. No, I know you trolling. He said, let me take this picture. That's funny, bro. He actually looks like him. You know what? If you upload that shit like right now this weekend, a lot of people would download that shit. You'll instantly get a diamond creator. Yeah, I am not one of those creators. That's for sure. No Motor City Machine Gun in 2K27, bro. The roster has changed forever. Check out the second one I sent. I did see it. Didn't I show it on stream right now? I guess I didn't put this one. I see it. I was laughing. Wait, what? All right, guys. We will be back this weekend. There are ranks for creators? Yeah. Yeah, you become diamond when you get a bunch of downloads and shit. We'll be back. I don't know if tomorrow or Sunday, but we'll definitely stream this weekend at some point. I'll keep in touch with y'all in Discord. You know, tonight I was on the fence about streaming. I was feeling a little down about the video and all that. And look at me right here. We're live streaming right now. I didn't expect it. Yeah, I don't know what happened. The video was still at 677. It just never took off. 695 is rough. Nobody cares about my faction stuff, I guess. It's all good. It's all good. I'll think of something else. But it's what I've been enjoying, you know? That's why I did it. You like the stream? Thank you, man. Thank you. The stream at the end of the day was a ton of fun. I had a blast with y'all tonight, Friday night. We in the spot. Eric is not going to believe how long I streamed tonight. We went to go watch the Super Mario movie, and there was a part that I was so tired and exhausted from the day that my head was looking like it was falling off. We got home, showered, and I ended up streaming here with y'all. So that's why I don't like scheduling stuff like that, because I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but then I randomly make it, like tonight. If I would have scheduled the stream earlier, I might have not made it. But then since I was just chilling there, I was like, all right, man, you know what? Let's fire it up and see what happens. Turned out to be a good show. So, guys, thank you for listening to me ramble on for a while. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. We'll be back with some more 2K.